Hi, Collective. I'm Ancient, and I have a message for you all. I'm getting some of you have gotten to a place where you feel like you are done dating, putting yourself out there. Some of you could have just experienced a significant tower moment in your life as it relates to a connection. I'm channeling this message for someone. I'm picking up on fire energy. So you could be a Leo specifically. I'm also picking up on Libra and Taurus energy. You don't have to be any of those signs, but those are the energies that are coming through, especially fire. There's a lot of fire around this. I feel like this was a passionate relationship. And there was something specific that you needed to learn about this connection in order to elevate you to the next level. And I feel like as of now, you are done with putting yourself out there. You're done with dating. You've gotten to a point where you feel as if you've been disrespected, you've been dragged. But this is a part of your own growth. Now, I know some of you are going to say ancient is it's easy to say that, it's easier said than done, and you are 100% right because we're human having a spiritual experience essentially. And so, excuse me, well, yeah, we're human and we're also a soul in a human body having an experience. But I want you to relay this message like, I'm getting that someone feels extremely down, like they feel like they made the wrong choice and the wrong decision. No, you did not. What happened? Whoever this person is that dragged you through the ringer, what you need to understand is this individual is racking up their karma, because specifically the person that they did this to is someone that's highly vibrational. This is someone that has a good heart, a good soul, and so, therefore, the person that dragged you, they have created karmic debt for themselves and it will be paid. So, that's something that you don't need to worry about. However, what you need to take a step back and look at, you need to go into introspection. Some of you need to embrace the hermit energy and take a look at yourself and see why you missed those red flags, why you ended up in this situation to begin with. Don't be too hard on yourself because there was some sort of lesson that you needed to learn. There was some sort of cycle that you were completing, and there should be a lesson that you took from that in order to grow. Now, I feel like a lot of you could be feeling as if like you're done dating, you're done putting yourself out there, and that's when your person is going to show up. And some of you are like, no, ancient, I don't want that to happen, but that's unfortunately that's typically how it works. Your person shows up when you least expect it, when you don't want it anymore, when you're not searching, when you're cold and detached. I feel like some of you needed to evolve to the status of the queen or king of swords, where you learn to speak your truth, you learn to cut people off. Some of you, this was the last element that you needed to master. And the only way that you could have mastered that element is through disrespect, is by someone dragging you through the mud and almost pushing you and forcing you to transform into the king and queen of swords. As I stated, in order for you to elevate to that emperor and empress status, you have to master all of the elements. And for some of you, I feel as if that was one of the last elements that you needed to master. I feel like you master your intuition, you're emotionally intelligent, so you've mastered the king and queen of cups. I feel like you've mastered your pinnacle energy. I feel like some of you are very stable and you have your career going, or you are stable financially and you're in a good space. So you master the king and queen of pentacles. I feel like a lot of you have mastered the ability to take action and be independent. Some of you are entrepreneur and you embody that. Some of you are very determined and you take very good care of yourself physically. Some of you look really good. So you mastered the energy of the King and Queen of Wands. But the only energy that you did not master was the King and Queen of Swords. And therefore, the universe sent you someone that would force you into that energy where you can get out of this Miss Nicey or Mr. Nice all the time, and kind of push you into that energy to where you will speak up for yourself, and you would learn how to put people in their place when they need to be put in their place. Because I feel like your kindness was exploited, your energy was exploited. This person took significant advantage of you, and it's because you had not mastered the King and Queen of Swords energy. And so now I feel like you're in a space where you feel comfortable speaking your truth, you feel comfortable speaking up, and you're also now moving forward, not going to allow anyone to take advantage of you. And this was the last energy and element that you needed to master. And so for the next cycle going around after this world energy, right? Because the world represents completion, is what I'm channeling. So as you go into the next cycle, the next year, you enter the full energy. You're going to be put to the test to see if you've actually learned how to speak up. The universe is going to be sending you friends and family that you're going to need to cut off. The universe is going to be sending you lovers and people that are interested in you that you're going to need to set straight. But it's for your highest good, and it's to see if you actually understand when it's time to utilize the swords and when it's time to use your logic versus your heart. Because I feel like you've been dealing with situations from an empathetic perspective rather than a more logical perspective. So I feel like now moving forward, if you feel like you're interested in someone romantically, you don't feel shy. Oh, you're not going to shy away from asking all the right questions. Some of these questions you may get downright blunt, and some people may take offense to it. And in your mind, you're going to think logically, well, if this person is offended by my question, then what are they hiding? I feel like you're no longer going to be um scared to ask those tough questions from the gate. And if it scares people off, quote unquote, you don't care because you're no longer wasting your time. You fully mastered and embodied the King and Queen of Swords. And you're just going to be cutting people off at the knees until your person arrives. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm channeling someone that just feels like they're done, but you had to get to this point. You had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You had to be dragged through the mud because you kept getting put in situations where you were being exploited because of your kind heart. But you can't be kind to everybody. You can't allow yourself to give and be taken advantage of. You have to use discernment, and you also have to know when it is time to use empathy and when it's time to use the swords. And I feel like this last situation that you have just gotten out of, this last tower, has now catapult you into this elevated state of knowing who you are and what you represent. Going forward, you will no longer be afraid of the red flags. You will no longer be afraid to cut people off. You will no longer feel like you're offending anyone because you're going to put yourself first and by all means necessary. And you're no longer going to sit back and allow people to waste your time. I feel like you're also going to use your intuition more, and I feel like you're a highly intuitive person, but sometimes you detach from your intuition because you're trying to feel normal, or you want to be normal, quote unquote. And I say that lightly because you don't want to allow your intuition to kind of guide you, but you should, because that's what it's there for. If something in your gut isn't right, it isn't right. So, congratulations. I know it's hard. You're going to get through this. In 2025, you're going to see something significantly change within you. And so, therefore, the people that you attract are going to be different, but you're also going to attract those lessons. You're going to attract the people that try to waste your time, but you're the one that's going to be different this time because you're wielding the sword. So, thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.